So I'm a part of a few groups over on Facebook dedicated to getting great tone out of the Helix family of products like the HX Stomp. And Alec Bourne, who's known as the MIDI mad scientist, put together this friendly competition that I want to make you aware of. It's called the Wall of Sound competition, and what it is we upload videos using our Helix products in any other piece of gear that you have to get the great tone that is unique to you, and then you upload it to the various Helix groups on Facebook, and it's due by March 14th. And there's some prizes, like I think there's like right now there's 5 Helix native licenses that you can win. There's different Helix skins that bring a different look to your Stomp or your Helix. It's all pretty cool. Like I said, entries are due by March 14th, and all you gotta do is make a video like I'm gonna make today, where I'm gonna walk you through my rig. I'm gonna show you my guitar, my full pedal board, and then we're gonna hop on HX Edit. I'm gonna walk you through the preset I made today specifically for this challenge. So as you make your video, show us your preset, show us your rig, and make some great tone. Now, if you're new to the channel, let me say welcome. I'm glad you're here. I created Hey Worship Leader to be a resource for worship leaders. And that's why this challenge stuck out to me, because often worship leaders or worship guitarists are tasked with the role of underscoring this beautiful ambient tones underneath like scripture readings and prayer moments. And I love creating ambient music. And so my hope in this challenge is that you will benefit and learn how you can use your Helix product to make some great ambient sounds. I actually did a video recently posing the question, can the HX Stomp ambient? And in that, I made a preset that I've actually included in my Expanse Pack. And if you're new to the Expanse Pack, all it is a ever-growing collection of presets that I use. It's one of those things where you pay once, you get updates for life. So if you're interested in that, check the link down below. Also, I'm doing a giveaway. I'm giving away the Jet Pedals MCX MIDI controller. So if you want to win this, this is what I've been using for years. I'm still using this. I actually just got a black one on my pedal board, and so I'm giving away this red one. If you're interested in get your hands on this, click the link below and enter, and make sure you do all the extra stuff so you can have increased chances of winning. Also, if you haven't yet, make sure you like and subscribe and do all the YouTube stuffs. Okay, now let me show you the first thing, which is my guitar. This here is a brand new guitar for me. I keep saying brand new, but it's just new to me. It's actually fairly old. This is the 2010 Gil Paris Natural by Reverend Guitars. It's got 2 humbuckers and a single coil in the middle, and it's very versatile. It also has this bass contour knob. I made a video about that. If you haven't seen it, you can go check it out. I'm really digging this guitar, and yeah, that's what we're gonna be using today. And let me show you my board real quick. It's everything on this board is based around the HX Stomp. There it is. I am running MIDI, like I said, with my Jet MCX. This is a fully customizable MIDI controller. It's made to be really small to fit on small compact boards. It doesn't have a screen, but it has an awesome web editor. Again, I've made a lot of videos about that on this channel. You can go check that out. My signal chain is that I go first into this Bekos Effects Pro, what's it called? It's called the Bekos Comp IQ Pro compressor. It's a really cool compressor. It's very small. Again, my objective with this board was to create a very small board that I could just pick up like this. For years, I had a huge board and I was tired of that. So, come out of the compressor, go straight into the Jackson Audio Broken Arrow version 2, which means that it now is controllable via MIDI. Out of the Broken Arrow, I go straight into the in of the HX Stomp. Now all my MIDI pedals are directed under the board to the Disaster Area MIDI box. As far as my MIDI signal chain, I come out of the Jet MCX, I go into first the HX Stomp, then into the Disaster Area, then into my 2 other pedals. Oh, which leads me to my third MIDI pedal, which is the Jet Revelation version 2. It's stereo and also MIDI. And it's run through the effects loop here in the Stomp. I come out with a TRS-Y split cable. It goes into both sides of the Jet, comes out and goes back into the return. I'm powering all this up with the Chalk's DC7 power supply. I'm using every port. I'm filling all of them up because the HX Stomp takes 2 inputs, and I'm using the Logston Audio current doubler, which is 1 cable, so you don't have to use any adapters, that has the 2.5 millimeter on this end and the RCA cables on this end for the Chalk's power supply. If you have like a Strymon type power supply, there's also those barrels too. You can find that in the links, which is linked down below. All this is sitting on a mono pedal board. It's the Mono Lite Plus. Also today, I'm gonna be using the Dunlop Volume X Mini. I'm gonna be coming out of the aux here and going straight into the expression input on the Stomp. This will allow me, as you see, to have a volume control inside my signal chain. You can also run this pedal just as a volume pedal and just put it at the beginning of your chain if you want, or put it right after your comps and drives. It's a pretty good pedal to have. So let's hook it all up and hear how it sounds. Alright, here we go. Let's jump in. I'm going to walk you through the HX Edit software on my computer to kind of easily show you what I've created. The only thing I'm using that is not in the HX Stomp is that I might turn on a drive or two, maybe, as we're playing over here on the Broken Arrow, and I will use my compressor, but I'm not using the Jet Revelation for any of these sounds. This is all sounds coming straight from the HX Stomp. So what I did here is I drug in an amp and cab of the AC30 Fawn, and it sounds like this. This is the neck pickup. A good worship kind of amp, it's always set to the edge of breakup. That way, no matter where I'm at, I can always utilize the pickup switch and get some overdrive tones, even if I don't use my overdrive pedal. That was the overdrive, and this is the boost. Alright, that's fun. Now let's see what else we got here. So what I've done is I've created a parallel path here, and I've made it really ambient because the objective for me today is to create this wall of sound that would be usable if you were underscoring like a pastor who was praying at the end of his sermon or a scripture reading during your worship set. And one of the things I love doing, because a lot of people say they don't really like the reverbs in the HX Stomp, and I understand what they mean. They don't really compare to the high qualityness of some of the better reverbs, but you can get some really good sounds, and especially in a live scenario, you can't really tell. But if you want to take a reverb and then mess with it, I'm going to show you what we can do today to get some crazy sounds if you want. On this A path up here, I have added a stereo mod chorus echo delay. It sounds like this. If you're wearing headphones, which you should be wearing headphones, you can hear that it kind of has a long feedback here. I got it up to 83%. The mix is at 35. The spread is all the way up to 10, and I also have it set to a scale of 75%. And what this does when it's set to quarter tap division, it also gives you 3/4 of that, which would be a dotted eighth. So this is what we have. Oh, and if you want, I forgot to say this at the beginning, if you want to follow me and build this preset with me, you can pause it and we can make this together so you can have the same exact sound that I have. And when I do my next Expanse Pack update, I'll probably include this in there as well. If you feel like that's a little bit too ambient, which we're going for ambient, you can always bring back the feedback. So this is what it's like when I bring the feedback back. Alright, now let's walk through what I have down here on this path B. Let's start with the reverb. First I have the Ganymede Reverb. It's set to 100% mix and set to a pretty high decay. We'll turn these on one at a time so you can see how it affects the sound. On this split block right here, I have a split AB and it's set even to both ways. The merge block is exactly how it was, just stock settings. This will be super wet, but we're gonna do a trick to be able to dial it in later, so don't go anywhere. This is the Ganymede by itself with the delay from that A path. Which that sounds pretty already, but what I like to do before this reverb is to add a bunch of different effects to change it up, to make it sound a little different. So right before that, I have a transistor tape delay with the wow and flutter maxed out so we can get some crazy warbling sounds. The spread and the scale are all the way up. The mix is at 55. Headroom is all the way up to 12. I have it set to half note time division so it kind of has a longer repeat, and it sounds like this when we add it. It just adds a nice kind of wobble to that reverb sound. The next thing I like to do sometimes is add a simple pitch effect, which is like an octave, and it comes in with like +7 when you drag it in. If you go up to 12, that's a whole octave, and you can go up to 24 for 2 octaves up. Let's turn that on and hear what that sounds like. Well, first let's turn off these other effects so you can just hear what it sounds like dry. If we were to put that down to 12, it would sound like this. Now we turn on our other effects and we can hear that it'll add like this really cool shimmer sound. And I like that pitch feeding into the delay and into that reverb. Next here, I have a mono harmonic tremolo, and what this does is add a little bit more of a pulsing sound. Let's hear that by itself so you can know what we're adding. Now we'll turn on the other effects. Getting really ambient, really wet, really quick. Then I added this chorus effect to the end of it just to give it another layer of sparkle. Let's turn it all off so you can hear what that sounds like again. And with all the other effects, sounds pretty cool. Alright, so that's really thick, possibly too thick. It would be really good for swells, but we have a special way of dialing this in. What I've done with my volume pedal is I hooked it up to a volume block here, and I've put it down on the B path. Now what this does is it doesn't allow us to use it as a generic volume for a whole signal, but what it does is it allows us to use it as a volume for just the B path. So I can pull it all the way out, let's turn it on, pull it all the way out, and now we will only have path A. Now I can slowly bring it in and bring in as much of path B as I want, which is really cool, and I haven't really shown you this in another video. This is really cool for being live. You can see how much of that special crazy effect that you want. So let's dial it in a little bit at a time. Here we go. More of a rhythm sound. And then bring it all the way in for some massive swells if you want to. What you could also do to kind of create a pad underneath is crank this decay up on the reverb so that it goes on forever, and then pull back your volume pedal. So let's try that. And then you can play on top of it is what I meant to say. All right, I hope that was as fun for you as it was for me. I enjoy making these kind of sounds, and I hope you do too. And I hope what we covered today would benefit you. Maybe you saw something you haven't seen before. Maybe what I hope is that this will spark some creativity so that you can make some amazing tones. If you like this video, please let me know by liking it, hitting that thumbs up, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. Remember the giveaway. We have a giveaway coming up. You want to win this, so don't forget to enter down below. Also, comment below. Let me know if you're planning on entering this competition. I think it would be really cool. If you have any questions, you can comment down there. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I wish you guys best of luck in that competition and the giveaway. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.